All right, everybody, thanks for watching today. Today we're going to go ahead and make a bunch of jalapeno and pepper jack venison sausage. As you see here, we've got a whole bunch of ground venison already, about 17 pounds worth. It's already 70-30 venison brisket, but what we did was we went to the butcher and we picked up about another 4.5 pounds of pork fat. It's going to end up being about 50% venison, 25 brisket, and 25% pork. So as you can see, a lot of it's already ground. I've got to go ahead and set the grinder up. We're going to get the pork fat grinded down, and then we're going to get everything mixed together. So here we go with the grinding. So we're going to go ahead and chop up this 4.5 pounds of pork fat into tolerable pieces so that we can go ahead and run it through the grinder. As far as the grinder, this is just a grinder and stuffer that I picked up off of Amazon for about 175 bucks. You can see that I put some of the parts of it into the freezer so that we can keep it cold. Whenever you're grinding meat making sausage, we want to make sure that we can keep the meat as cold as possible throughout the process. So we're going to go ahead and get this chopped up so that we can start grinding. So now that we've got everything in pretty tolerable sizes to go ahead and run through this grinder, we're going to go ahead and run it through. I've got a coarse grinding plate in there. I like to have all of my ground meat run through the coarse grinder and not the fine grinder, because we get everything melded together a lot better whenever we're mixing it up with the dedicated mixer. So we're going to go ahead and run some of this through. So that we can move on with the process here. Now, when you get to this stage of the process, there's always going to be some cubes of fat that are stuck right here in this part of the grinder. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run a few pieces of bread, stuff it down, which is going to get inside the grinder and kind of push the rest of the meat out. If you get a little bit of bread in your sausage mixer, it's really not going to make that big of a deal. So. Now that we see we got mostly bread crumbles coming out here, we're going to go ahead and pick the parts that have the most bread in them out, and then we're going to leave the rest of the fat mixture. That has also helped us pull a lot of stuff out of the grinder there. So moving on to the next stage of the process, we're going to go ahead and put this ground up fat back in the refrigerator. We're going to get our grinder clean because you don't want your utensils to sit out for very long while they're extremely dirty. So we're going to go ahead and get this part cleaned up, going to get the meat cold again, and then we will be back for the mixing portion. Alright, so we got the 17 pounds of venison with the 70-30 brisket mix unpacked and ready to go. All of the fat that we grinded earlier is sitting under the venison. What we're going to do is we're actually going to use a dedicated mixer here in order to mix the ingredients and kind of get everything mixed thoroughly throughout the sausage. And you can do it by hand. I've done it by hand before, but whenever you're going to be using some of your Prague powder, I like to make sure that we get as much consistency throughout the sausage as we possibly can. So I would highly suggest dedicated stuffer. They go for about $100 on Amazon. Very easy to assemble, very easy to clean. You take care of it, it'll last you for a long time. So we're going to be mixing about 12.5 pounds or so at a time. It says that this is rated for 20 pounds. That's clearly not going to be the case. So we're going to do half and half, and we'll go over the recipe of what we're going to be putting in as far as seasonings and things like that in just a second. So here we're going to discuss a little bit about what's actually going to be going into the sausage that we're going to be mixing. We've got some dehydrated jalapenos, Fiesta's venison seasoning, some Prague Powder #1, and then we've got some pepper jack. So as far as the cheese goes, after working with multiple batches of sausage, I've noticed that this high temperature cheese is actually the best kind to use. It's not exactly the cheapest stuff. This 2.5 pound bag, which is perfect for 25 pounds of sausage, ends up running about 25 to 30 bucks on Amazon. But I really like how it's already cubed in very, very small pieces. It stays in the refrigerator for a couple months before you actually have to stuff it. So they have pepper jack, cheddar, all different kinds of cheeses, and I've noticed that this works the best for sausage stuffing. We've got the Prague powder, which is whenever you smoke sausage, it's going to be a little bit of a preservative. This venison sausage seasoning, it says that this whole pack makes 50 pounds. The first time we used this stuff, we noticed that the seasoning is not nearly as potent as we thought it would. So we're going to multiply the recipe or the suggestion that Fiesta has by 1.5 times, just to get a little bit more flavor. And then we've got the dehydrated jalapenos. This is a 6-ounce can I got on Amazon. We're only going to use about 3 ounces, or about half of it for the full 25 pounds. So this is all the stuff that we're going to put inside the sausage. And once again, the sausage is going to be 50% venison, and then 25% beef brisket, and 25% pork fat. Alright, so we went ahead and got our weights separated. We ended up with about 9 pounds of the venison brisket mix, and just almost 2.5 pounds of fat. We're going to do 2 individual batches of these just because this meat mixer only holds so much meat at a time. This is the first batch that we had separated. Right now it's running right at about 12 pounds or so worth of meat. We're going to go ahead and get all of our mixtures, seasonings, jalapenos, cheese, and everything put in here so that we can go ahead and start getting the right consistency for the sausage that we're looking to make. I'm also going to in the video post the recipe for all the exact measurements for 25 pounds worth of meat. So we're going to go ahead and get this all combined together and get it start mixing. Alright, so for this 12.5 pounds right here, we did 1.5 ounces of the dried out jalapenos, 1.25 pound of pepper jack cheese, right at about 8 ounces of the Fiesta venison mix, a ½ ounce of Prague Powder #1, and just 1 pound of water to kind of supplement everything. So it should be right at about 15 or so pounds of sausage, and we're just going to go ahead and start getting this mixed up and moving. We're going to go backwards and forwards, and we'll kind of give you a shot here as soon as it's all done. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here we go. We've got 25 pounds of perfectly mixed pepper jack cheese and jalapeno venison sausage. Like I said before, it's only 50% venison, 25% beef, and 25% pork. We're going to go ahead and fry up a little piece and make sure that it's got the taste that we're looking for. But next, now that we've got everything mixed, we're going to get this back in the refrigerator for a little while, clean up our workspace, and then just get ready to stuff some sausages. So as far as stuffing the actual sausages is concerned, I've used our meat grinder with the stuffing attachment before, and it didn't really go so well. I would highly recommend going online and buying your own dedicated sausage stuffer. They're mechanical instead of electrical. Whenever the plate inside here suppresses down, it pushes all of the air pockets out. I went from being able to stuff about 25 pounds of sausage with an electric grinder. The meat grinder with the attachment normally would take me a couple of hours, and I can probably stuff 25 pounds with this dedicated stuffer in 30 minutes or less. So it's really worth the money. These are on Amazon. They're only about 110 bucks. The only downside is you'll see right here, once the plate is suppressed on the inside all of the way, while you're stuffing, whenever you're done, there's going to be a lot of meat that's going to get caught right in here and in the tube itself. You can see this is an extra long tube. I probably need to cut some of it off, but a lot of meat gets stuck down there. So all we do is push it out and use it to make a burger patty or pan sausage or something like that. At the end, there's still no waste, but it does cost you about a link or so of sausage. So highly recommend the dedicated stuffer. I don't think I would be processing sausage at home without it. So definitely something I would highly suggest. Alright guys, so we're going to be using the some natural hog casings here. We've had a whole bunch of these soaking in water for a couple of hours now. We're going to just run some water through them. You know, there's some other videos all over the internet about how to get the hog casings ready, but we've got everything set up. We're going to go ahead and get stuffing here in just a second. Alright guys, so what we're going to do here is we're going to get just a little bit of sausage coming out of the tube, just to pressurize it just enough so that we can go ahead and start getting these things loaded into the casings here. So as soon as we get just a little bit poking out the end, we're going to back off the pressure here and go ahead and get this casing loaded up. Oh, we put a little bit of a tear into it, so we're going to go ahead and cut this off right there so we don't have any issues. Throw that away. We're going to go ahead and put a little bit, go ahead and tie a little knot here in the end. And we are going to get stuffing. This is one of the benefits to having a dedicated stuffer. You see how quick it goes. It would take me 3 to 4 times longer to stuff this sausage if I was doing it with a stuffing attachment to a meat grinder. Some people tie these off in links. Some people just roll the sausage up. It's really personal preference. If I just roll mine up, I don't do the individual links. If you want to do the individual links, there's a bunch of other YouTube videos showing you how to go ahead and twist those off. So we're coming to the end here. We got just a couple inches left. I'm going to go ahead and back the pressure off the stuffer. We are going to use this so that we can go ahead and have enough to do a good tie here on the end. There you go. In about 2 minutes, we stuffed a whole casing with our jalapeno and pepper jack venison sausage. We're going to go ahead and roll this up. We got 25 pounds of this stuff to do. So we'll show you what it all looks like whenever we get finished. Alright guys, well we finally got everything stuffed. Here's what 25 pounds of jalapeno and pepper jack venison sausage looks like. Now all there is to do is vacuum seal it and get it in the freezer. So I'll have the recipe here in the video as well as below the video on YouTube. Feel free to ask any questions and I'll do my best to help. Have a great day.